Okay, hello again. This is now to carry on with the poppies, which, as you can see, I've outlined the edge with two fine lines using this one, the nested squares, and I just lengthened the two edges to get ourselves a rectangular border that fit around the poppies. And now I'm going to go on and do a border. So to get your border so that it goes round your parchment nicely, you need to, let's just turn that off, have an idea of where you're going to mount it so that your border moves out equally on both sides. Okay, so that's out of the way. And just to talk quickly about parchment, if I lay these two pieces together, you can see the two different colours. They're both the same parchment. What I've done is laid this piece face down, this is face up, and this is the bit that will show your embossing to white once you've gone through it. So as you turn it over, you can see these are now the same, and this is quite a shiny side. And just to make you aware that any pencil lines on this side, if you're going to rub them out, they will remove the colour as well. So that's quite handy if you want to put colour onto your parchment from the back, because obviously the red is quite dark and your colouring won't show through quite as well. So, and the matte side is the top side and this is the bottom side. And as you know, we always emboss from the back. So the other thing I've done is I've groovy tabbed a piece of card that is exactly the same size as this, which you'll see if I put the light on. There you can't see the card because it is exactly the same size, and that now gives me a border to work from. Okay, you can just see the groovy tabs here. Now obviously they're going to need to be removed as we emboss around the corner, but I'm going to start with this straight edge. So starting up in the corner, this is just a very simple border where I'm going to emboss 4 dots, leave 4 and emboss 4, and just go down this edge. And I'm using the ball tool of the groovy tool to do this. And the grid I've got is the bold metal PCA grid, but obviously you can use your groovy acrylic grid as well. It makes no difference at all which grid you use. Now, because I haven't counted this, and I don't know if I've got enough room to do all of these without ending up with a mismatch. So we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Now I'm going to do the same from the bottom corner. So that if there is a mismatch, it happens in the middle and we can turn that into something else. Just making sure I've got the same number as we go up. And if I remember correctly, we'd done 10. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've still got a bit of room, so let's just keep adding, but 1 at each end. Then we'll see what we've got left in the middle. See, there we go. We haven't got enough room there to leave to do another 4 and 4. So, and because we've counted exactly the same number each side, this is now in the middle of that line. So what I'm going to do is just leave those 3 and once we've pierced them out, this will just make a little bit of extra cut out. And because I want my border to be thicker than just one line, let's go up into this corner, and now we put our dots in the alternate spaces. Keep catching that corner for my light. Now, there's a lot of theory as to whether you emboss first or perforate first. I started out doing traditional parchment craft, and we always embossed first. So that's pretty much why I do it this way, because it's just the way I was taught, and that's how I learnt. So I carry on doing it this way. I did have quite a good look through a lot of my borders that Josie has done, the lace grids and what have you, but I really struggle to get them to fit on an A4 piece of parchment when I have quite a larger design in the middle, and then you find that you haven't actually got enough room to get all the grid onto your parchment. So hopefully one day someone will decide that maybe we do actually need some 12 by 12 parchment so we can get the beautiful grids that Josie's done and do larger pictures in the middle. Because the grid work's beautiful, but it's not much use if you can't actually get it onto the parchment paper that you've got, and without having to do half and half and join it in the middle. Right, I can see my groovy tab. It's up to there. So let's just take this round the corner, leaving our 4. Just make sure I am leaving 4 and not doing 6. But the going back to whether you emboss first or perforate first, at least if you've embossed first, if you slip out of a hole and you put a dot in somewhere where you don't want one, generally when you're going to go back and perforate, you will actually perforate out that dot and that mistake. And I always find that you've got a clearer pattern to pierce in between the dots, as opposed to trying to pierce first and then emboss around your dots, because then your page, as you know, it becomes quite rough on the other side. So as I say, this is always the way I've done it. So, but I think with all of crafting, it's having a play, working out what works best for you, and as long as you're happy with the results that you are producing, then however you get there, I don't think it really matters. Let's just see how this embosses over the... Actually, that is going to emboss over the tab. Let's keep going. This is one of the easiest embossing patterns to do, I think, because it doesn't take any counting. Though I better just stop there and head on in from this corner. Let's do the 4 on the corner, because the last thing I want is to end up with it not working out like the other side. How many have we got there? We'll include that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's just quickly fill in these. So we've got a double layer of border. That's 9. 9. Can't quite work that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, this one might work. Now if you look at this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think with this one we'll just emboss the 4 dots. Yeah, that works. And let's leave the 4 space. Okay, now I think as I say, I'm going to do this. Oh, goodness me. I'll do this 3 deep. If we go back to where we've got the extras here, because I find it is so easy just to get into the zone of what you're doing and you forget where you're up to, and then you end up with a mismatched pattern. Okay, and then that will give us a 3-layered border. Right, I'm not going to sit and go all the way around with this now, but what I am going to do is just lift off my stick my groovy tabs up onto my light handle so I can use those again, and that was stuck to the parchment, not to the grid. My light's now adorned with lots of little groovy tabs. So let's get a piercing mat. And I'm just going to pierce down this side and show you the way that I do this, and not that tool. Here we go. I have a 4-needle tool. These are the bold PCA tools that I've had for many years. Now, I'm not really one for sticking down my parchment when I'm piercing, because what I've found is that once you've lined up, which I think with this it's fairly easy to do, and as I say, this is such a simple pattern to do, but as you know, once you've pierced, you have to peel your work off. So I've just moved that, make sure we are nicely lined up. And normally, obviously, I would have embossed all the way around on this one. It seems to be a little bit difficult to marry up today. Are we there? I think we are. So if you just do a few piercings through into the rough offcut that is going to be removed, then what this is going to do is actually just hold your parchment in place. And just double check you're all lined up. Oops, I just knocked the phone, sorry, giving you a wobble there. Okay, so this should now hold my parchment in place. And then with the 4 needle tool, obviously you can use a single needle tool, but I'm not, to be honest, I'm not actually sure whether it's quicker or not, but as long as you hold your tool so that it will go straight into the 4 holes and you don't twist it, then as you pierce in between your embossing. Now again, there's some theory about using 4 needle tools, because if you go wrong, you've made 4 holes, whereas at least with a single needle tool, if you've gone wrong, you've only gone wrong in 1 hole. But as you can see, you can soon get this pierced out with the 4 needle tool. And as I say, as long as you don't twist it, it will just drop straight into those 4 holes. Yeah, the 4 holes in the gaps of your embossing. Now soon we'll be coming up to the area where we left the 6. So just pierce your holes and then drop it into the second 2. And we've nearly done this edge. When I first started doing this, we had grey foam mats that we used to pierce onto. Not much good with the light wave from Groovy when it came out, and I must admit it has really made it much easier to do the piercing, and that is that edge done. So what I'm going to do is sign off for now, and then I will come back when I've embossed all the way around and pierced it all out, and then we'll talk about the little extra bits we're going to put in the corners and how we're going to cut across those so we can tuck our corners into of the poppy piece under the border. Okay, so I'll catch you later.